I'm Alina, and I thought I knew what loneliness felt like, living in a picture-perfect suburban home with a husband who's become a stranger over 12 long years. But nothing could have prepared me for the night that changed everything. A magical festival by the sea, glowing lanterns lighting up the sky, and a desperate hope to rekindle the spark we lost. Dressed in emerald green, I stood amidst a crowd of laughter and warmth, craving connection, only to feel more invisible than ever. That is, until a mysterious figure in a silver mask locked eyes with me, pulling me into a moment that felt like a forbidden dream. What happened next in that hidden courtyard could shatter everything I've ever known. Will you dare to find out? Picture this. I'm standing at the edge of a memory, teetering on the brink of something I can't quite name. My name is Elena, and at 36, I've built a life that looks pretty on the outside. Suburban home in Portland, Oregon, a career as a freelance graphic designer, and a husband, Nathan, who's been my anchor for 12 years, 8 of them bound by vows. But beneath the surface, there's a quiet storm brewing. Nathan, 38, is a corporate accountant, a man whose work ethic is both his strength and our silent wedge. He's always buried in numbers, lost in late-night calls, or tethered to his phone, while I'm left sketching designs in our too-quiet house, craving a connection that feels just out of reach. Lately, it's like we're two strangers sharing the same address, and I'm desperate to change that before the distance becomes permanent. I've tried talking, tried small gestures, dinners he barely notices, touches he shrugs off, but nothing sticks. So, I decided to go bigger. A getaway. A chance to step out of our routine and into something that might remind us of who we used to be. I was scrolling through social media one rainy afternoon, my laptop casting a pale glow over the kitchen table, when I stumbled upon an ad for the Lumina Festival. It's held every year in Seacrest, a sleepy coastal town just 3 hours from here, famous for its mesmerizing lantern displays and light projections that turn the night into a dreamscape. The images online were breathtaking, streets aglow with golden orbs, couples holding hands under shimmering arches. I could almost feel the magic through the screen, and I thought, this is it. This could be our reset. Without overthinking, I booked a weekend at a charming little bed and breakfast called the Lantern's Rest, picturing cozy mornings and romantic evenings that might stitch us back together. As I packed, my fingers lingered on a dress I'd bought just for this trip. It's a deep emerald green with a skirt that flows like a whisper, hugging my curves in a way that makes me feel seen. I held it up, imagining Nathan's eyes catching mine across a lantern-lit path, a spark of the old fire reigniting. I could almost hear his low chuckle, the one that used to send shivers down my spine. Could almost feel his hands pulling me close under the glow of 1,000 lights. It's been so long since we've shared a moment like that. A moment where the world fades and it's just us. I folded the dress carefully, tucking that hope into the suitcase alongside it, willing myself to believe this weekend could be a turning point. The drive to Seacrest felt like a journey into possibility. I rolled down the window, letting the salty ocean breeze tangle my hair, the scent of brine and pine mixing in the air. The highway stretched out before us, flanked by rugged cliffs on one side and the endless gray of the Pacific on the other. The anticipation built with every mile, a fragile bubble of hope swelling in my chest as we pulled into Seacrest, just as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of amber and violet. That first evening at the Lumina Festival was supposed to be our moment, the start of something new. But as I stand here now, surrounded by a world of enchantment, I've never felt so alone. The cobblestone streets of Seacrest are alive with energy, a river of people flowing around me, their voices blending into a warm hum of excitement. Strings of fairy lights crisscross above, casting a golden glow over everything, like a net of stars caught just out of reach. Vendors line the edges, their stalls brimming with handmade trinkets, carved wooden figurines, delicate glass ornaments, and woven bracelets that shimmer in the light. The air is thick with the scent of hot cider, sweet cinnamon, and the faint, briny tang of sea salt carried on the breeze from the nearby shore. I clutch a paper cup of cider in my hands, the warmth seeping through my fingers, a small comfort against the chill of the evening and the colder emptiness beside me. Laughter spills from every corner, mingling with the soft strums of a local band playing acoustic melodies on a wooden stage nearby. It's a fairy tale scene, straight out of a dream, but the magic feels like it's meant for everyone but me. I'm wearing that emerald dress I packed with such care, the fabric whispering against my skin as I move, the thin straps resting lightly on my shoulders. I adjusted them earlier, catching my reflection in a shop window, hoping to see a flicker of confidence, a spark that might draw Nathan's attention. I wanted to feel beautiful, desired, like I used to when his gaze would linger on me, heavy with unspoken promises. But when I turned to him, full of that fragile hope, he didn't even look up. He's over there now, near the stage, hunched over his phone, the blue light casting harsh shadows across his face. I can hear him muttering under his breath about some urgent email from his boss, his voice clipped and distant, as if I'm not even here, as if this festival, this getaway, this desperate attempt to reconnect, means nothing to him. I stand in the middle of the crowd, a solitary figure amidst a sea of connection. Couples weave through the throng, their hands entwined, their smiles private and intimate. Families cluster together, children perched on shoulders, pointing at the lights with wide-eyed wonder. I watch them, my chest tightening, feeling like an outsider in my own story. I take a sip of the cider, the sweet spiced warmth doing little to ease the ache. This was supposed to be our night, our chance to remember what it felt like to be us. I glance at Nathan again, willing him to look up, to see me, to feel something. I step closer, my voice soft but hopeful as I suggest, I'm still standing there. My suggestion to Nathan hanging in the air like a fragile thread, but he doesn't even lift his eyes from his phone, leaving my words unanswered. The dismissal stings, sharper than the cool night breeze against my bare shoulders. I turn away, my gaze drifting over the festival crowd, searching for something, anything, to anchor me in this moment. That's when it happens. The clock tower in the center of Seacrest chimes 8, a deep, resonant sound that ripples through the crowd. A hush falls, and then, as if on cue, hundreds of lanterns are released into the sky. They rise slowly at first, glowing orbs of golden light, floating upward like a swarm of fireflies. The sight steals my breath, casting a warm, ethereal hue over everyone below. I'm mesmerized, standing near a stone fountain, the water trickling softly behind me, reflecting the flickering lights above. It feels like the world has paused, suspended in a dream I don't want to wake from. As I watch the lanterns drift higher, something else catches my eye. Near the edge of the crowd, a street theater performance unfolds. Actors in elaborate costumes weave through the throng, their movements deliberate and captivating. Some juggle fire, the flames dancing in dangerous arcs, while others recite poetry, their voices carrying over the murmur of the festival. My attention snags on one figure in particular, a man in a silver suit, his face concealed behind a sleek metallic mask that mirrors the lantern light in fractured, dazzling patterns. His presence is magnetic, his movements fluid, almost hypnotic, as he glides through the crowd. He brushes hands with passers-by, leaning in to whisper cryptic phrases that seem to linger in the air. I can't tear my eyes away, curiosity blooming in my chest like a flower unfurling in the dark. Who is he? What is he saying to them? I don't have long to wonder. He turns, as if sensing my stare, and begins to approach. My breath catches as he closes the distance, his masked face unreadable, yet I feel the weight of his gaze through that cold, reflective surface. I freeze, rooted to the spot by the fountain, as he stops just inches from me. His presence is overwhelming, like a current pulling me under, and when he speaks, his voice is low and smooth, a velvet whisper that sends a shiver down my spine. "You look like someone who's already awake," he says. My heart skips a beat, a jolt of something I can't name surging through me. I manage a small, uncertain smile, unsure of what he means, but feeling, for the first time tonight, truly seen. There's something in his tone, something knowing, that pierces through the loneliness I've been carrying. He extends a gloved hand, the silver fabric catching the light, and against every rational thought screaming in my mind, I take it. The contact sends an electric jolt through me, a spark that ignites something dormant deep within. He doesn't say another word, but he doesn't need to. With a gentle tug, he leads me away from the bustling main street, away from the crowd, around a shadowy corner. My pulse races as we step into a quiet courtyard tucked behind an old brick building, hidden from the festival's glow. The space is intimate, bathed in the soft amber light of a single lantern hanging above, its warm flicker dancing across the ivy creeping up the walls. The distant hum of the festival fades into a hush, replaced by the sound of my own uneven breathing. I know I should turn back, that this isn't right, that I'm stepping into dangerous territory. But my heart beats steadily, calm in a way I haven't felt in years, as if it's found a rhythm it's been searching for. We stand there, the silence between us heavy with unspoken understanding. I look into the mirrored surface of his mask, seeing only my own reflection, wide-eyed, vulnerable, alive. And in that moment, I let go of restraint, surrendering to a pull I can't resist. What happens next feels like a dream, a stolen fragment of time where the world outside ceases to exist. His hands are gentle, tracing paths of warmth that awaken every nerve, his silence profound. As I leave the secluded courtyard behind, my steps falter, each one heavier than the last, as if the weight of what just happened is pressing down on me. My legs tremble beneath me, unsteady, like I'm walking on a tightrope stretched over an abyss of my own making. The emerald dress, once a symbol of hope for this night, now clings to me like a second skin, its fabric feeling burdensome, a reminder of how far I've strayed from the woman who packed it with dreams of rekindling something lost. I can still feel the ghost of that stranger's touch, a warmth that lingers on my skin, igniting a fire I didn't know could burn so fiercely. My breath catches as I round the corner back toward the main street of Seacrest, the quiet intimacy of that hidden space giving way to the chaotic vibrancy of the Lumina Festival once more. The clamor hits me like a wave, the laughter and chatter of the crowd, the strumming of guitars from the stage, the clinking of mugs at nearby stalls. It's all so loud after the hush of those stolen moments. The fairy lights above twinkle with an almost mocking cheer, their golden glow casting long shadows across the cobblestones. I'm hyper-aware of every glance from strangers as I weave through the throng, my heart pounding in my chest. Do they see it? Can they read the truth on my face, in the flush of my cheeks, in the way my eyes dart nervously, searching for something to ground me? I feel exposed, as if the secret I carry is written in bold across my forehead, a scarlet mark for all to judge. My fingers brush against the fabric of my dress, smoothing it down in a futile attempt to compose myself, to hide the turmoil churning inside. I spot Nathan before he sees me, still near the wooden stage where I left him, his silhouette framed by the soft glow of lanterns hanging nearby. His phone is in his hand, the screen's harsh light illuminating his furrowed brow, his lips moving slightly as if he's talking to himself, or maybe to someone on the other end of a call. He's oblivious, completely unaware that I've been gone for nearly an hour, that I've stepped into a moment that's changed everything. My stomach twists as I approach, a storm of emotions raging within me. Guilt crashes over me first, sharp and cold, slicing through the haze of exhilaration that still hums in my veins. I've betrayed him, crossed a line I never thought I'd even near. But beneath that guilt, there's a flicker of defiance, a whisper that asks why I should feel sorry when he hasn't noticed me in months, when I've been invisible to him long before tonight. And then there's that strange, intoxicating thrill, the memory of feeling alive, desired, seen in a way I haven't been in years. It's a dangerous cocktail, and I'm drowning in it. I rehearse excuses in my mind as I close the distance between us, my thoughts racing. I could say I got lost in the crowd, wandered off to see a vendor's stall. I could tell him I needed air, that the festival was overwhelming. But as I come to stand beside him, the words stick in my throat, heavy and unspoken. My mouth opens, then closes again, the silence between us stretching taut, like a wire about to snap. Nathan barely looks up, his eyes flicking to me for half a second before returning to his phone. He mutters something about a deadline, his voice clipped and distracted, as if I'm nothing more than background noise. The realization hits me like a punch. He didn't even notice I was gone. For nearly an hour I was somewhere else, lost in a moment that seared into my soul, and he didn't even care enough to wonder where I was. The sting of it is bitter, mingling with the chaos already tearing at my heart. I turn my gaze away from him, unable to bear the weight of his indifference, and that's when I see it. Another wave of lanterns being released into the night sky. They rise in a graceful swarm, glowing orbs of amber and gold, drifting upward like whispered prayers against the dark. As I stand there, watching those lanterns ascend into the endless night, one catches my eye, a single glowing orb, brighter than the others, rising higher, as if it's on a mission of its own. It drifts upward with a quiet determination, a solitary beacon against the vast, inky sky, and I can't help but feel it's carrying something for me, a message or a wish I haven't dared to voice. My chest tightens as I follow its path, the golden light growing smaller, yet somehow more piercing, like a pinprick of truth in the darkness. I'm rooted to the spot, the festival's hum fading into a distant murmur, my world narrowing to that lone lantern and the weight it seems to bear. Nathan is still beside me, his fingers tapping furiously on his phone, the harsh glow of the screen a stark contrast to the warm, ethereal light above. I glance at him, and the ache of our fractured bond cuts deeper than ever. It's not just that he didn't notice my absence earlier. It's the years of being unseen, of pouring myself into a marriage that feels like a hollow shell. I've been clinging to the hope of us, to the memory of what we once were, but standing here now, under this sky of fleeting lights, I feel the tether between us fraying beyond repair. The realization washes over me, cold and clear as the ocean breeze. I don't want to tell him what happened in that hidden courtyard, not because I'm afraid of his anger or disappointment, but because I've come to understand something profound. I don't owe him this piece of me anymore. That moment, that stolen fragment of time with a stranger, was mine. It awakened something I thought had long since faded, and I won't let guilt or obligation strip it away. I take a slow, steady breath, the cool air filling my lungs, and in a whisper so faint it's nearly swallowed by the wind, I speak to myself. I'm awake now. It's not a confession meant for Nathan's ears, nor a plea for forgiveness. It's a vow, a quiet promise to myself. For the first time in years, I've felt something real, something vibrant and alive coursing through me, and I refuse to let it be erased by shame or fear. That stranger, with his masked face and unspoken understanding, saw me in a way I'd forgotten was possible. And though I know what I did crossed a line, I can't bring myself to regret it. Not when it reminded me what it feels like to truly exist, to be more than a shadow in someone else's life. I feel a shift within me, subtle yet seismic. My shoulders draw back, my spine straightens, and I stand a little taller, my gaze still fixed on that solitary lantern as it finally vanishes into the night. It's as if I've released something too, something heavy I've carried for far too long. The guilt is still there, a sharp edge beneath the surface, but it's no longer the loudest voice in my mind. Instead, there's a quiet strength, a resolve I didn't know I had. I've made a choice, not just to keep this secret, but to hold on to the feeling of being seen, of being alive, even if it came from a fleeting, forbidden moment. I acknowledge the betrayal, the fracture I've caused, but I also embrace the truth of what I felt. It's mine to keep, a spark I won't let anyone extinguish. Nathan's typing slows, and I sense him shift beside me. He finally looks up, his brow furrowing slightly, as if he's just noticed something different in the air between us. "Hey, you okay?" he asks, his voice tinged with a faint curiosity, though it lacks the depth of real concern. I turn to him, meeting his eyes for a moment, and offer a faint smile, the kind that hides more than it reveals. "Yeah, I'm fine," I say, my tone steady, almost too calm. But inside, I'm a storm of resolve, waves crashing against the shore of everything I've decided in these quiet seconds. My words are a shield, protecting the transformation unfolding within me, a change he can't see and wouldn't. As Nathan and I finally turn away from the fading glow of the festival, the weight of the night settles over me like a heavy cloak. We begin our walk back to the Lantern's Rest, the bed and breakfast where we've been staying, through the quiet streets of Seacrest. The once vibrant energy of the Lumina Festival is winding down now, the hum of the crowd softening into a distant murmur. Vendors are packing up their stalls, folding tables with weary hands, their voices low as they call out final goodbyes to lingering customers. Above us, the last flickers of lantern light dance in the sky, tiny specks of gold against the deepening black, fading like embers of a fire that's burned too bright. The air feels cooler now, carrying the sharp tang of the ocean, and I pull my shawl tighter around my shoulders, the emerald dress folded carefully over my arm. It feels heavier than it should, as if it's absorbed every moment of this night, every secret I now carry within me. Nathan walks beside me, his steps measured, his hands shoved deep into his pockets. He's silent, his face shadowed in the dim streetlights, and I can tell his mind is still elsewhere, probably on some spreadsheet or email he didn't finish earlier. I don't try to break the quiet between us. There's nothing I could say right now that wouldn't feel like a lie, and I'm too tangled up in my own thoughts to pretend otherwise. My mind keeps drifting back to that hidden courtyard, to the amber glow that framed a moment I'll never forget. I can still feel the warmth of a touch that wasn't his, the whisper of words that stirred something long dormant in my soul. I don't push the memories away. I let them linger, turning them over like a keepsake I'm not ready to part with. The cobblestone streets are nearly empty as we make our way through the town, the occasional clatter of a vendor's cart or the soft laughter of a couple echoing in the stillness. The fairy lights that crisscrossed above the festival grounds are being taken down, their golden strands disappearing into the night, leaving the world feeling a little darker, a little less magical. But inside me, there's a different kind of light, one that hasn't dimmed, one that burns with a quiet intensity I can't ignore. Every step I take feels like I'm walking further away from the woman I was when this night began, and I'm not sure I mind. When we reach the Lantern's Rest, the old building looms before us, its weathered facade bathed in the soft glow of a single porch light. The sign creaks faintly in the breeze, and the scent of salt and damp wood clings to the air. We climb the creaky stairs to our room on the second floor, the wooden steps groaning under our weight, each sound amplified in the heavy silence between us. Nathan pushes the door open, and I follow him inside, the familiar space feeling strangely foreign now. The quilted bedspread, the chipped nightstand, the faint hum of the radiator, it's all the same, yet I'm not. I lay the emerald dress over the back of a chair, its deep green fabric catching the lamplight. a silent witness to everything that unfolded tonight. I trace a finger along its edge, feeling the texture under my skin, and a shiver runs through me. Not from the cold, but from the memory of how it felt to be seen, truly seen, for the first time in so long. Nathan doesn't say much as he gets ready for bed, his movements mechanical, his focus still elsewhere. I watch him for a moment, a pang of something I can't quite name tightening in my chest. Is it guilt? Sadness? Or is it the realization that we've drifted so far apart that even this shared space feels like separate worlds? I slip under the covers, the sheets cool against my skin, and lie there staring at the ceiling, the faint cracks in the plaster forming patterns my mind tries to decipher. Nathan settles in beside me, his breathing soon deepening into the steady rhythm of sleep, a soft snore escaping him now and then. But sleep doesn't come for me. My eyes are wide open. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment if you enjoyed this story. This will help us create more engaging stories for you.